Hey guys, welcome to our final video in our GitLab HA series. It has been an adventure, and actually it took a few days to actually even make some of these videos. I think 2 days actually, but it was definitely quite an adventure, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this throughout the week as I've been releasing these on a daily basis. So the last part of this is to configure our load balancer to essentially load balance between the three Rail nodes, which is what GitLab application is running on. And we're going to do a TLS cert as well, so that we essentially have TLS terminating from our browser to the load balancer. And we'll be using HA proxy for that essentially. So we'll be sticking with HA proxy because we've already done it for the internal load balancer, so we'll do it for the external one as well. So let's get started. Okay, so we already have an internal HA proxy config from our internal one. So we need to create a new one. So we'll create a new file. We'll call it external HA proxy.cfg. And essentially I already have everything created because I don't really do HA proxy very often, but most of it was already copied from the internal proxy. So you can see everything at the top is still the same. The difference is we have a front end HTTPS front end, which it'll be listening on with a cert, and we'll get the self-signed cert with our step CA server. And then the backend ones will be just a round robin with the forwards to our web service for GitLab Rails 1, 2, and 3. So this config is actually pretty self-explanatory in regards to what it is. So we can actually go to GitLab HA, which I think, not GitLab HA, GitLab LB, which I think I already have configured, where it will install HA proxy and then pull the right config because I named it external HA proxy and restart it. So essentially, I can just leave this as is. We'll commit it, add external HA proxy, and we can run the playbook. So, but before we run it, we want to create the cert. So in our previous videos, in our step CA, we can create self-signed certs with our step CA server, which is great. So let me get the password because it's been a little bit since I've done this. And I'm already losing my voice because I've spent the last 5 hours working through these videos, and I haven't even done the editing yet. I wanted to push through and do all the videos. So even though they might come out on a daily basis, I did 5 or 6 of the services all in one day. So we can still create this. So GitLab HA is what we'll call it. So cd GitLab HA. So what we will want to do is run the step command. So step CA certificate, which will create it, and then GitLab HA.dragon.local will be the domain. Then we need to do GitLab HA dragon.local.cert will be the cert, and then the key GitLab HA dragon.local.key. It'll ask for the provisioner key, which we have up here. So we'll copy this, paste that. Did it not paste correctly? Oh, that was weird. I don't know if that pasted correctly. What the? Okay. Maybe there's some weird pasting going on here. There we go. Okay. Some weird pasting issue. Who knows? So now we have the cert and the key, but you remember if you look at the config, we have it called an HA proxy self-signed PEM. So how it will actually read it is essentially, it's just a concatenation of what it is, of the key and the cert. So if we were to cat GitLab HA key and cat GitLab HA cert, into this whatever we'll name it HA proxy self-signed PEM. That's pretty much what it is. It's just one file with both the cert and the key, versus how we've done it in Nginx, where it is 2 separate files that Nginx calls. So we can copy this. So HA proxy into the server, which will be GitLab external.dragon.local. And the path will be etc SSL and the cert. So paste that, save that, and configure. So now the cert is in place. So we can actually now run the playbook in here, GitLab LB. And we will now configure the external load balancer. So GitLab external will be the load balancer. And the other thing to note, so for our DNS, we have both GitLab external and GitLab HA on the same IP. So it's the same machine. So essentially when you hit GitLab HA, it's still pointing to the load balancer itself. So it just kind of depends on the naming. But for provisioning purposes, I want to use GitLab external so it makes sense in my head, you know? So you can see that it ran, it is running. So in theory, if everything's working, which I can't guarantee everything's working, but if everything's working, I can go to gitlabha.dragon.local and it won't work. Oh man, that's so sad. I was hoping it would work. Okay, so give me 1 second. Well, we'll take a look here real quick. GitLab HA. So let's just double check in here. Cat etc HA proxy. haproxy.cfg. So essentially is doing this. So let's make sure that it can reach. Install telnet. Actually, technically it could reach because it's already giving me a 500 error. The real question is why? Okay. It actually took a little bit, but I actually figured out a few typos that I actually had. So I don't know if I had to recreate the hashes for the other two, but I also did because for some odd reason the first two hashes didn't take, so I also recreated for the replicator and the console one. But the other interesting thing that I actually realized that I missed was I typed in GitLab instead of Gitly for the Gitly servers to disable the GitLab exporter enable. So that's fixed now. So in theory, everything looked a lot more stable after I did all the changes. So I can now log into GitLab. We can disable things and whatnot, and create new repos. Everything actually is going pretty well right now. So we can. It's actually been a while. This is actually a newer version of GitLab than what I actually have. So we can create like a new blank project, test project, in root, internal. We can initialize, and actually it isn't too slow whatsoever. So. But now we know that the load balancing works. We know that everything else behind it works. And we essentially have GitLab HA. So in theory, you can now, upgrade a node, upgrade, one of the few nodes, and get things going. So there we go. Whew. I don't know how many hours. I should have timed how long this took, but yeah, that's essentially it. That's a wrap for this series, getting GitLab HA working. I will post in my GitHub and a link in the description for my GitHub the GitLab RB file. I'm gonna parameterize a few of them and get a README out there as well after this video. And I will essentially put the Ansible playbooks out there too, so that you guys can just run them as long as the DNS inventory names are kind of similar to what I have, essentially. So, but there you go, guys. We went through and created GitLab HA, and it's working now. I'll probably tear it down because actually it's a lot more work probably to maintain for my home lab than just having a single instance. And if it's down, it's not that big of a deal for me. But it was definitely fun to go do and attempt to show you guys so that you guys can kind of see what I do for a living, more or less. This is kind of what I like to do, and it's fun to play with tech. So, but if you enjoy like these types of videos where I'm just like grinding across and figuring out, hey, how can we, do this or whatnot, feel free to put a message in the comments. I am definitely looking for some cool, fun material to create too as well. GitLab HA was kind of just one of those one of the more daunting tasks that I was like, I don't know if I really want to do this, but it'd be kind of cool to get working, you know? So if you have other things that you're kind of interested in possibly seeing and making a full series about, let me know in the comments. I definitely am interested in kind of making a few more HA related videos for other services. So who knows, it might actually come up and show up. So anywho, I appreciate all you guys who decided to stick around and watch every single video, or if you're just watching this one video to see if I actually accomplished it. That would be, I appreciate all the support and everything. So hopefully you guys did enjoy, and if you did, feel free to give me a like, comment, or subscribe to my channel. So hope you guys all have an amazing holiday, as I know the holidays at the end of the year are pretty crazy. So hopefully you guys do get some good holidays and some great food and gifts here. So thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys later. Bye.